Chapter 6. Ancient and Forbidden Knowledge. When somebody would be shooting a game of pool or playing a game of ping pong in the band's rec hall during our daily scheduled break from rehearsals and IP, individual practice, there would usually be a number of us fellow band members hanging around, waiting to play, or just hanging around. Some of the conversations we had would turn surprisingly interesting while we were waiting around. The diversity in the band was huge, and the subjects would range from physics to remote-controlled toy airplanes. Bob was a smallish fellow in the band. He was in the flute section, as I recall. At first I thought of him as a bit of a gnome. He was generally quiet and would sort of slink around behind the crowds, never saying much. Well, Bob approached me in the rec hall and asked if I would come back to his room for a little talk. Bob lived in the B barracks and had a single room up on the second floor. Actually, I guess they were all single rooms. As I entered, I could smell incense and some herbs that I couldn't identify. The room was draped darkly and had the feel of a seance. Bob spoke quietly but confidently. "I've been watching you, and I think you're ready for some important spiritual information." Well, this creeped me out, but I sat there and listened to his pitch. He continued, "I can tell you are spiritual, but are missing some important information." I didn't know if I was getting a Mormon talk or maybe a Seventh-day Adventist talk. The setting was peculiar for either one of those. Bob pulled out a book titled Encyclopedia of Ancient and Forbidden Knowledge. In serious tones, he said, "I'm going to give you a copy of this book. It is a gift. I believe you are ready. This is important for you." For sure, I had never met a shaman, but I believe I did on that day. In that moment, he seemed to hold a special power, and I accepted the book with some reverence and carried it around with me for weeks as I plowed through its 500 or so pages. I learned about witchcraft, astrology, palm reading, lumps on the head reading, and way more occult knowledge that I have long since lost track of. At the time, I began a daily meditation practice, though I had no idea whatsoever what I was doing. That practice actually lasted for a couple of months before I lost my motivation and it fizzled. Bob never approached me again, but I believe he was watching. A little creepy as I think back on it. In a twist of fate, 50 years later, my adult daughter, Jennifer, has become an expert in the occult arts. When she speaks, the sound is sweet and comforting. Her voice is full of confidence. She offers soothing services for a troubled time, including tarot readings, cleansing and smudging, chakra alignment, and more. This is beautiful, in something of a nostalgic way. In stark contrast, Chuck, my adult son, and his wife are staunch Christians. They are loving, caring parents, raising their children to love Christ, to be good citizens and make their lives a living ministry. My two kids each have beautiful lives with such vastly different beliefs. This makes me so very happy.